What's up, Ohio? This is Prince Ish. I am here with Tristan today, and I want to say that there's a couple things that's interesting that's going on in, entertainment, films being released coming out next year. We have a lot of slated things, the Marvel films, but first I want to get to something that really caught my eye with Congress that happened 2 weeks ago. So the social media CEOs, some of them were subpoenaed to go and speak in front of Congress. The head of Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, X, and pretty much what was happening, Congress is trying to let them know is like, y'all are not doing enough for child exploitation on the internet, pretty much. So it was wild to see how Facebook and TikTok was being grilled like heavy. Everybody was talking it's funny, like Snapchat, since they're smaller, they can kind of get away with, not doing as much because of the scale of the company and the users. But Facebook is, which is Instagram, Mark Zuckerberg said something that was interesting. And I wanted to open this conversation up because I feel like this is probably going to lead down the road to like Blade Runner or something.
Oh, snap.
Like it's gonna be pretty weird. So what Mark Zuckerberg said, he said this. He was like, well, I have a plan and I want to submit this to you guys. I actually already did. And what it is everybody who connects to the internet would need to upload their ID. So your ID is connected to the internet.
The entire thing.
Yes.
Like to log in. You have to log in. So we're basically going back to like dial-up days, except you got to use your ID to get online. So you know what?
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah, I respect it too.
I respect the attempt.
It's some type of layer of some type of buffer. So it's like, oh, you trying to, and all of this is to protect kids. You know, we all can get on the same page for trying to protect the kids. But I just wonder if that is the right move.
Okay.
What do you think?
There's a couple of things I want to say about this.
Yeah.
And okay, hot take first.
Okay.
We should have thought about this before we let the internet get to the point to where it's at now.
Yeah.
Hats off to, other nations.
Mm-hmm.
I won't name any specifically. You can do some homework and find out which ones I'm talking about. But other nations have made internet dealings way more controlled by the government in some other countries. Like way more controlled, to the point that, I'm just going to say it. In China,
they were grilling TikTok with China. They was like, is it true that you're here because of the government? Is it true? Can you openly say? I'm like, whoa.
But see,
this dude is like, no.
But here's the thing. But Chinese government has controlled internet access in China for a long time, and it's way more strict over there. People that play games online, it was like mandated by the government. You could only play for a certain period of time. You only have so much time to play online per day, period. Yeah. And there was nothing you could do to get around it because you needed to use your, I guess, whatever the equivalent to a social security number. You had to use your government issued ID to even be online. So hearing this, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
We're late to the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because America, we didn't think about online access all the time. Like, what does that mean for society?
Overindulgence.
Yeah, over time too, because okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to diverge too much off of this topic, but one time I had a conversation with somebody. We used to say "be right back," BRB. Yeah, we don't say that anymore.
Yeah,
we don't log into the internet; it's just always on. So, when's the last time someone even sent you a text like BRB,
bruh?
No one says it anymore. No. There is no getting on the internet and logging out of the internet. We don't do that anymore. So that's interesting that he said that, to log into the internet, you got to use your ID. I'm like, interesting.
See, when I really think about that, it makes me wonder how fast this will turn into a civil war.
Oh, that's the thing. We're too far gone. I don't think you can implement that now. That's the second part of that whole thing. I'm just like, I don't think that's going to happen. Who's going to accept that? Every time you are on the internet, you got to have your ID to do it.
Yeah.
That means
or some type of way of tracking. It's literally tracking everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I'm sure there's going to be people that's going to try to bypass things, but
if it's tied to your like government issued identity, that means if you do something to circumvent that, that's then fraud.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to cause a whole bunch of, oh my goodness. Like,
so I'll say this, that would help with, people that's posing as different people on the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Exploitation of children.
Mm-hmm.
These people, like Congress, oh my goodness, these senators were up there speaking like, I'm like, yo, this is like a whooping.
So here's the part that I'm concerned about with the story that you said so far.
Mm-hmm.
If Meta, Mark Zuckerberg is the one saying that,
yeah,
that's a private company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we should have a private company managing everyone's identities, though.
Yeah, or even having access to that. Like
that's worrisome.
Yeah,
for real.
Because it was interesting when they were speaking about some states in the United States where they have like a curfew for like social media, in like certain states where you just can't like log back in to social media. That's interesting, but you won't be able to do that in no big state, in any big state for real. That's people make a living off of social media.
How is that going to work with companies then? Like, if you have a company that's using the internet for your business 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
Maybe there will be some type of leeway with businesses.
It's going to have to be.
Yeah.
Wow. This
clocked
is interesting.
in.
So he said this to Congress.
Yeah.
He said that to and how did they respond to that?
They were more interested in making him feel like shit. That was way more interested in that.
Wow.
And the same with, I felt bad for the guy, I can't remember his name, but the CEO of TikTok, because, it is a different app in China, right. Like it's different.
It has a different name and everything.
Yeah. And they were really trying to bring this up, but it was such, you felt like they were about to be sentenced to going to jail after this. That's what it really felt like for Mark and the CEO of TikTok. But
was Elon Musk there too?
No. If you remember, I believe he stepped down.
Yeah, he appointed.
And I'm like, this dude is a genius.
Yeah, he appointed somebody else.
This dude is a genius.
He slid out the room, bro.
Yep.
He cracked the door. Was like,
you gonna do this.
Get on up out of here.
And the funny thing is, when you watch her speak, I'm bad with names. Only one I know is Mark Zuckerberg because of the social network. Like everyone else, your names are irrelevant. It's kind of musical chairs at some point, but Zucks, terrified of that man. But the Zucks, he was going bat to bat with these guys. They were saying like, is it true that you do not care about children's lives? That you just want children to, you actually are doing a good job at exploiting children. He was like, well, I wouldn't say that. I'm like, this dude.
He was ready.
He was ready.
He wanted all the smoke. Yeah.
All the smoke.
Yeah, I mean.
All the smoke. And laughing too.
He probably been preparing for this day for quite some time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just make Facebook and then Meta and all that other stuff and then be ill prepared for something like that. So
yeah,
I'm sure
that's true.
He was ready.
It was entertaining.
I actually want to see this for real.
Right. It was long. I watched all of it. It was literally like 4 hours.
Wow.
But breaks though. So you can fast forward.
Wait, so what was the result of this? Like, was it just is it still ongoing or like?
Pretty much, because Congress is trying to build new legislation around social media and these private companies. So they are going to be slowly accountable for their actions and lack thereof of actions. Because, for example, there was a question where they asked him, like, what things have you done to put in place to protect kids and, pretty much like how they feel and protecting their identities and stuff like that and having access. It's like, well, what we just did. And he's like, we don't want to know what you did to prepare for this meeting. We don't want to know about that. What is the numbers? And Zucks was like, well, if you look at, he's like, I don't want to know what you did. Like, they were really grilling these guys.
They're like, we need to have the hard facts, like numbers, like what?
Yeah. So pretty much it was just a bashing to these companies. Because like I said, some of them people have been avoiding them for like a decade.
Yeah.
So they were subpoenaed. Some of them were subpoenaed there. And it was just them letting them know, is like, if you don't cooperate now, we're going to put stuff in place that can put you out of business. So I'm like, y'all are already late.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think, like, compared to some other online stuff, like, for example, I'm just going to use an obvious one, Netflix. You know, Netflix usually has like that kids option.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, like, is that like the direction they're trying to go, where it's like every social media platform should have a kids option where they are more protected when they're in the online space? Like, but that still comes down to, like, man, I don't want to get like, well, I don't know. It's going to get kind of deep talking about this, but that comes down to parenting. Like,
exactly.
That's what it all comes down to. It's like, yo, are parents actually monitoring like what their kids do in the online space? That's a big thing, I would say, but I don't know. That's a lot, man. Wow.
Because it is the right answer, but like you said, we don't log off the internet.
Yeah.
You know, and now people are putting devices in everyone's hands at a damn near a baby's age.
Yeah.
You know, starting from a tablet, and then you don't even know. It's like, when did you start looking at big booty women, like music videos? Like, when did this happen? Like, like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's facts.
When did you start liking that?
You gotta say it like it is, man. Like, you know, I mean, it's
eating cereal, sitting there watching.
But you know what? It's not, generally speaking, not that different from when the pre-internet times, right?
Yeah.
You know, little boys, you know, they might find, you know, somebody's Playboy magazine. And, you know what I'm saying? So naturally, like, of course, like, kids gonna be mischievous in whatever type of way. But with the internet, that is a different thing, bro. Like, kids should not, and I'm not even accusing, like, you know, all youth to be necessarily doing like the worst stuff in the internet space. It's just the fact that the worst stuff can happen in the internet space. So like, it needs some monitoring, especially when it comes to underage users, which if the parents aren't doing that, then the government's going to step in and be like, all right.
Have to.
Yeah.
Because, like, think about it, bro. Even with, you know, the goggles, AR, you know, augmented reality, virtual reality. We're getting into a place where everything is becoming individualized. So you won't even be able to look and see what's on your kid's screen. Unless there's some type of sharing thing on a phone or something.
I have a quick story about the like goggles and VR headsets and all that. Just a real quick story. Because as soon as you said that, you just reminded me. One day I was leaving out of the library in downtown Cleveland, and this mother had 2 kids with her. And they had the MetaQuest headsets. Right? And one of the boys, you know, just walking with his mom. And the other boy was like maybe, you know, a couple feet behind her. And he had the headset on. And I'm like, wait, he can't see. He can't see what's in front of him, but he's following after his mother. And I'm like, and I'm just looking, I'm like, wait, how is he following her? So then we actually had a program and I knew the lady. So I just asked, like, how did it go? I think I asked her, I was like, how is he following you in this hallway? She was like, oh, because I have the controller in my bag, so he can see the other controller for the headset, and he's just following that. And I was just like, wow, like, this happened right in front of me. And I was just thinking, like, like, this is a real life example of how wearing a headset in public could become a normal thing. It could become a normal thing for people to walk around with VR headsets. I mean, I'm sure it'll be way better than like what
complete VR.
I mean, or AR. Like, I mean, we do know that Google revealed the Google Glass, I think it was called, like some years ago, but it kind of like, you don't really hear too much about it because I think, right, for real. I think the technology just isn't really there, and it probably has something to do with batteries and stuff. Battery technology is really important when you consider the adoption of any new technology, especially when it's like wireless. The battery is very important. But there's probably other stuff too. I'm not an engineer, so I can't speak to those things. But yeah, when your regular glasses start to have, you know, Tony Stark stuff going on.
staring in thin air, scrolling, reading articles.
It's going to change the game, man. So, yeah, that might be coming way sooner than we think, for real.
That's true.
And then
it's here.
Didn't Apple just drop something too recently?
That's the big one now.
Yeah.
It's on. Some people have it on 24/7.
No,
24/7. You're walking in the street, just yo.
Oh, so that
Can't
has
see eyes,
so that has AR, so it probably has cameras on it, so you can see what's around you.
Well, I've heard that it looks like you don't have it on, but you're able to access stuff, but you can use like to scroll with your hands.
So people are now using these in public spaces for sure.
Everywhere.
Wow.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Huh.
And I hate people that just not hate. That's such a strong word. Such a strong word. I very dislike individuals that just scroll forever.
Yeah.
Just scroll forever. Now it's going to just be part of everything.
But that's because people aren't logging in. See, I know that sounds like a joke, but I'm being for real. Because
what do you mean?
Let me just say, all right, first of all, elder millennial here, right? I grew up with Windows 95, Windows 98. Like I was that kid that had to like connect, like I said earlier, with a dial-up modem. You know, dialing phone numbers, hearing all that crazy static stuff. Then
I caught the tail end, the dial-up. Yeah.
But what that era of the internet instilled in people like myself, my generation of folks, is there's a clear line of distinction when you're online and when you're offline.
That's true.
And I still have that like built into me. So I'm not, I don't always think about like the fact that I'm online all the time. I think we had a conversation about this like a little bit earlier. I sometimes, you know, forget to even check like messages and stuff because I'm like, oh, I'm not on the internet right now. I'm doing something else. But the newer generation, they didn't come up with that. So, you know, like you just said, babies have iPads and iPhones now. They're just growing up with devices and Wi-Fi. So their whole perception of like a lot of things is going to be really different, man.
And I'll say this because it's very, very, I'll say creepy a little bit because I'm approaching that age now where I can reflect. I can reflect on patterns and stuff like that that's been happening, and the jump in generations where you say, for instance, you have a nephew or you see kids and stuff like that. Like I was just at a kid birthday party, right? And all about Five Nights at Freddy. Super creepy off rip. Like, oh my goodness, very creepy. But like the kids were playing and talking, it's like, oh, don't take fall damage, like jumping off stuff. I'm like, they're implementing the lingo from video games of fall damage and XP running around the house. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
For me, my brain was like, yo.
That's interesting.
Think about, they're like 9.
Yeah.
Talking about, oh, don't take no fall damage. Watch the step. You got to find your resources. I'm like, what?
I mean, they're not wrong, though. Fall damage is real.
That's real. But saying fall damage, I've only heard that like in Fallout.
In games, literally in video games, Wow. That's crazy. Interesting.
Bruh, these kids have so much information. And it's so dope. It's like, man, I gotta keep learning stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can really fall behind just by being in your bubble.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you access to a life hack. There is a hidden superpower in understanding the generations like that are younger than you and staying in touch with it. I'm not saying you have to live that lifestyle or whatever, but as long as you keep in touch with what the younger generations are doing, that gives you an edge. Because as you just said, the people in your age group, as you get older, they're going to start isolating themselves more and more and more. Then they become more unaware of what's really going on. Yeah. But as long as you stay aware, you have an edge on others in your age bracket because you'll know stuff that they don't know. Yeah. Just saying.
But it'd be funny, like, and I don't mean to judge, but I'll be looking, I'm like, man, y'all niggas goofies. Like, I don't even like, it's just like, come on. It's just too many goofies out here. Yeah. Like, just trooping it up.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of it.
It's part of the game.
There's like, a lot of goofies, though.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of goofies.
Yeah, and
it's a lot.
No, it's a lot, bro. And and like I be feeling bad because sometimes I have that realization, and then I'm like, all right, let me not think like that too much because I don't want to declare like that.
What's a goof?
I don't want to feel any type of superiority complex whatsoever. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna sit here and like try to think of other people as lesser in any kind of way. I try not to.
Goofs, but just clear it up. Like I think a goof is you gotta say it like that. A goof. Like I think a goof is someone that's just being so extra, you know, and like not being able to read the room at all. You know, so you're always showing up out of context.
Yeah.
Everything you're doing is just so out of context.
I think I did understand that because I think we had a conversation about this. Yeah. I'm just saying, for me personally.
Yeah.
I think if I think of
a goof,
when I realize how many goofs there actually are around me, it messes me up because I'm like, oh, bro, like I gotta get out of here, like, you know. And I'm just like, I don't want to feel negative about people.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, bro, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. We have to talk about this upcoming shows, movies, all of this stuff that's coming out with Marvel and, you know, the big release of the Xmen 97. And I wanted to add my brother into this conversation because over the years, it's ridiculous the amount of laughs and stories that we will share over just things revolving around these characters and just storytelling. And, you know, this is a lot of wealth of knowledge. And still here with Tristan. And first, I want to talk about Xmen 97 and our individual memories from the original X-Men show from the 90s. You know, so starting with you, my brother, like what would you say is something that really stands out to you from the X-Men show? You know, however you want to go about it. You know, it's you know how we get down.
I think for me, with the original X-Men, so I was more into the Spider-Man cartoon.
Okay.
From the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So later on I got into the X-Men. I went back. I don't know if you remember our cousins, they was like, even, you know, where's RIP, our uncle?
Yeah.
He the one that really put me on to the X-Men cartoons.
Really?
Because he was watching. Yeah, he used to watch them back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing about the X-Men cartoons, because they had a lot of adult like themes to it.
Yeah.
Like they could touch like racism, you know, tacitly. They touched a lot of different things, like real world topics.
Yeah.
On the X-Men cartoon in a way that was simple enough for a child to understand, but mature enough for an adult to appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
That whole analogy, you know, Malcolm.
Yeah, with Magneto.
I think it just hit different for Black people.
Yeah. Yep.
When it comes to
facts. I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Tristan? What about you?
Oh, like just memories with that cartoon?
Yeah.
Man, like I can geek out on this topic, man, because there's so many things. Like, but the first thing I think about is that that intro. And by the way, I just wanted to make sure I say hello because it's my first time ever like really get the chance to talk to you, you know, especially about some like, you know, stuff that we all really grew up with and like things that we care about. So, you know, I appreciate that this opportunity. But yeah, man, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about that old X-Men cartoon is the theme song, man. Like that theme song.
True.
Was fire at the time. It was just like, man, what is this? You know, it felt like, oh, this is for real, you know? And then the second thing that comes to my mind is that intro. Like they show every single character and they had their name card and everything. I was like, bro, that's awesome. Because as a kid that read comic books, to see each one of their names like that, it was just like, oh, that's cool, man. Like we never saw like Beast have his own like title card thing like that. It was just really cool, man.
Really putting a spotlight on everybody.
Yeah, it was cool. It was because they didn't have to do it that way. They could have just like slapped like Xmen up there and just had Xavier and Cyclops in the front and just showed everybody. But they gave everybody like a moment where they showed their powers.
Yeah,
they showed their title card. I was like, man, this is cool. Like it struck me as just like so cool. Like immediately I was like, yo, this is awesome. But I gotta say, I agree with you, man. I was on that Spider-Man wave too. That was my cartoon, man.
Yeah,
I love Spider-Man.
Was fire.
Spider-Man was amazing, though. Spider-Man was so cool.
Yeah.
Like that was my cartoon for sure at the time.
So for me, I'm gonna have to say, everybody gave a very good in-depth look at it. I'm gonna say for me it was the cake. It was a lot of cake on that show. It was a lot of cake on that show. First Rogue, crazy cake. As a kid, I was like, yo, what is happening here?
Yo, yeah.
The yams.
Hey, but where they get that from?
What?
The comic books.
Yeah.
Shout out
comic books was wild.
Yeah, bro. They was wild, man.
I used to collect them. And specifically in the 90s, I remember that they was going away from the Superman aesthetic of a superhero, like a cape.
Yeah.
Clean cut.
Yeah.
That's when we started getting like Wolverine.
Yeah, that grungier look.
The alternative.
Grungy, Cable, everybody who had like 6-foot guns.
Yeah. Yep. And they was all
and a bunch
big,
of pouches,
big dudes
pouches
too.
all over everywhere. They just had like hella pouches all over their body.
Yeah.
I remember that in the 90s where comics changed. Like you had the Punisher and all of these guys. So.
Yeah, and lots of belts and stuff too,
Lots of belts.
So then that kind of leads to my next question though. The crossover episodes. I know you've mentioned Spider-Man. Spider-Man had a crossover episode in the original X-Men cartoon. They had even with Spider-Man, they had Punisher. Spider-Man had everybody in that joint. Everybody.
Yeah, for real.
But with the X-Men, is there any new characters or old characters that you would want to see? Because I believe that Marvel really prides itself on the surprise factor and giving quality. May not be with all the movies recently because they shot all their bullets and threw the holster. They threw it. So,
but it's subjective. It's subjective.
It is.
Some people really may have loved all of the recent offerings.
You said the offerings.
But everybody's different.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not saying that I'm hating on it, but anyway, go ahead.
But with the crossover episodes,
I'm gonna say the two things I'm looking for.
Yeah,
X-Men in general.
Okay,
it's coming from the 80s, baby. I played all the X-Men games. Watched all the cartoons, watched all the trash movies multiple times.
Yeah.
So I want to see Cyclops be relevant.
Yeah.
Because don't it seem like it kind of seemed like they pushed Wolverine so hard.
Yeah.
That everybody took like a backseat to the backseat, especially Cyclops.
Yeah. Hey, man, didn't
they kill him off in like the second movie? I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Your point is even,
man, Cyclops can't get no love. Like,
it's even more in the movies, man. Like the all of the X-Men movies was basically Wolverine and the X-Men.
It was
Wolverine and the X-Men. Yeah, that's what they should have called it.
Yeah, because I mean, he's about to be in Wolverine and Deadpool, as you mentioned, and technically that's another Wolverine movie, right?
Yeah.
So how many Wolverine movies have there been?
All of them.
Now listen, but here's the thing though. That's our fault though.
Yeah.
That's our fault because when we grew up, who was everybody's favorite X-Men? He was never mine. My favorite always been Gambit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gambit was fire.
Cyclops had to be mine.
But Wolverine was like everybody's favorite.
Yeah. I mean,
we was kids running around.
Yeah, it
had
just
like two kids fighting over I'm Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine and Spider-Man just rocked the 90s though. They just rocked the 90s completely. Like everybody was like a Wolverine and Spider-Man fan. Like I ain't gonna lie, I was a Wolverine and Spider-Man. I was more of a Spider-Man fan than Wolverine, but out of the X-Men, actually I can't even say he was my favorite X-Men character because I liked a lot of them. Like I like some of the more obscure characters, like Forge. I thought Forge was awesome.
Yeah.
Who's Forge?
He was an
but you never really see Forge out there. Like he's one of the less known.
Yeah, he's a much less known character. Yeah,
because he's basically. I feel like I don't know. I feel like he's kind of like secondary to like a Beast.
Yeah. He definitely.
You don't see Beast out there fighting.
But see, that's the thing. So the thing about the comics is the whole mutant. All of the mutants, it was so many of them that they had to make a lot of teams. You had the blue team, you had the gold team of the X-Men, you had X-Force, you had X-Factor, and then all those members, they would like cycle all the time because it's like, yo, we can't put every single mutant in every single comic. So Forge would kind of show up sometimes. And he was kind of like the technology dude,
Not going back, like they didn't make the X-Men comics super convoluted towards in the cartoon it became super convoluted towards the latter seasons because then you had Bishop coming from the future.
Yeah.
Then you had Cable coming from the future. Oh, but he's not from Bishop's future.
Yeah, from two different futures. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, y'all doing too much. Scale it back.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be seeing Bishop and Cable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they didn't get along either, right? I think they didn't like each other.
No, they did not like each other. Nobody knew why.
Yeah, because it was like, y'all not even from the same future. What y'all beefing for?
Ain't y'all both X-Men? Like, what is y'all doing?
So, okay. So it's safe to say that we're all looking forward to that X-Men 97.
Yeah, man.
In March.
Yeah, if they make Cyclops irrelevant and they make it less convoluted. And they give your boy Gambit a little bit more shine than Cyclops.
Yeah. One thing I'm glad you brought up Gambit because in the X-Men 97 like artwork that I saw so far, they actually made Gambit look better. Like he's closer to his comic look. Because
Tristan, you watched the cartoons, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So let me ask you this, because I might be remembering things differently. But didn't it seem like Cyclops was the hothead and not so much Wolverine all the time?
Well, I think they made them both hotheads. They was beefing so hard that I'm like, yo, they do have moments where they work together. Like, they not always, at each other's throats. But there is that.
But everybody expected Wolverine to be a hothead, just how he looked.
Oh yeah. And just.
But wasn't Cyclops kind of a hothead too? Like I just remember him showing his teeth all the time.
Bruh, those were my favorite moments. Like, what are you Get in line, X-Men. What are y'all doing?
Yeah. I'm like, I might be remembering things differently though. Because in the comics,
you're right.
Cyclops was like that. He was way more terroristic, like, and hostile than Wolverine.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I would say, and I'm not the biggest X-Men fan. Like I said, I wish my big brother was here because he could talk to this way better than I could. But my perception of the X-Men,
talk to him because everything I'm hearing about Cyclops, I just remember the stuff from the 90s.
Yeah.
Like the comics and the cartoons and the game.
I mean, the thing is, in the comics, they did Cyclops justice in the comics. Like, and his story really evolved and like it became something even way more serious more recently. But like in that cartoon, I think they over-focused.
He became like Magneto at one point.
Yeah. In the comics, actually, Magneto actually said to him like, yo, that's some stuff that I probably would have did, but bro, you doing too much. Like even Magneto was telling him like, yo, you gotta chill. He was like, you gotta chill out, dog. You do
when Magneto
much.
is telling you to chill. It's like, yo, you gotta reevaluate some of your decisions.
Yeah.
No, bro, he ran the fade with Captain America and he tried to fight he wanted to beat up Xavier at one point.
Yeah. Okay, I just gotta say this real quick. Did you read Avengers AVX, Avengers versus X-Men?
So I didn't read it, but I don't wanna it's just your platform. I don't want to shout out any other
what's that?
I don't know if that's the thing you allow on your platform to shout out any other YouTubers or anything.
Oh, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm gonna just say this. There's a YouTuber that I watched that he played the whole AVX uh comic through the that new motion comic stuff they got.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah,
shout them out.
Yo,
so I didn't read it, but I know what happened.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that in Avengers versus X-Men. Oh, Cyclops was big tripping in that, bro.
Yeah,
man, he got the Phoenix Force. He got the Phoenix Force. He was the Phoenix. Do you know how catastrophic that is? Because the Phoenix Force is the reason why Jean Grey is not around. You know, his mind was gone, bro. Gone.
I still remember the episode.
and see, here's the thing: Wolverine be chilling in the comics most of the time.
Yep.
Like he ain't even like that. Like I mean, he like that, but if it ain't like Sabretooth or somebody, he usually pretty chill.
See, I still remember this episode on the X-Men, like the original from the 90s, where they were all, I think, who was it? Cyclops was kidnapped or something like that, or he was coming to get somebody from the island. And who was that? Was that Sinestro? Who was that? Who was the dude that was
Sinestro's DC?
Not Sinestro. Yeah, that is DC. Who was the guy that was
Mr. Sinister?
Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, okay.
He was messing with people's, genes and making them stronger and stuff like that. And Cyclops got so mad that he just started beaming everything. This dude, Mr. Sinister, was trying to run. He was like, yo.
Wow.
That dude was dipping.
Yo, Cyclops in the cartoon and just in the games and the comic, like he's always been so powerful, man. Those optic blasts, man, that stuff was no joke. I want to see more of that. I want them to really exhibit just how powerful Cyclops is in the cartoon. So, you know what I'm saying? We need to see just how strong he is for real, because he basically is, right, the de facto leader of the X-Men.
Yeah.
And I think
he is the leader.
Yeah, and I think that was the one of the issues with the cartoon. I mean, again, I think it's accurate, but I think it was a little bit too much emphasis on him and Wolverine like butting heads, because Wolverine's like, I don't care who the leader is, I'm doing my own thing,
Yeah.
Which is accurate. That's accurate. But I'm just like, but that whole back and forth was a little bit too much. But I really want to see them give Cyclops, like, just show how strong he is, because those optic blasts are no joke, man,
And they need to get over Jean Grey, man. Come on, man. It's been too long.
Jean Grey is such a pivotal piece of the situation.
I mean, not like but I mean like between Cyclops and Wolverine.
Yeah.
But even just, starting to wrap up this, like I wanted to talk to y'all about the Wolverine and Deadpool trailer as well, because the thing that stood out to me most, of course, Wolverine is showing up, but the TVA, bringing in Deadpool to help.
You think we're gonna get Mobius?
Who?
I think we're gonna get Mobius.
Mobius? Oh,
from the show.
I don't. It's not necessary. Like it's cool when it's properly placed.
But it's Disney we talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's cool when it's properly placed, when he's properly placed, but I'm cool with Owen Wilson really popping up like that. Like I like Owen Wilson, but I want to watch Wedding Crashers when I see his face. Like I don't really think about Deadpool.
See, I like the Mobius and the TVA. I like
him. I don't want to see him more.
Wait, so the TVA. So I did see the trailer.
Yeah.
I did not see Loki season 2 yet, though.
Really?
So I need to watch that.
Yeah.
Because,
before seeing Deadpool.
Yeah, because it looks like if the TVA is involved, I need to know what's happening in season 2 of Loki. So I have a little bit of catching up to do. I gotta watch that.
Season 2 of Loki sets up the entire MCU going forward.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That whole Loki show was like that show. Was it Sliders or something like that?
I don't know.
From back in the day.
Sliders?
I remember that show where they kept going back in time, back and forth through time and stuff like that.
Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much the premise.
Quantum Leap or something like that. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I gotta see it. So you know what? I'm putting that on the watch list tonight. I might start watching Loki season 2 tonight.
But I'll say this too. The main thing that I was concerned about as well is I'm like, okay, more multiverse. More multiverse. Pretty much multiverse fatigue. You know, I feel it. You know, I feel like everything in sci-fi is really just piggybacking off of that. Like sci-fi culture is really piggybacking off of that, which, you know, it's cool. It's a cool concept.
The thing about the thing about the multiverse, the problem with the multiverse, and you see it on Marvel and DC movies, is when it's kind of like the problem with Dragon Ball Z, because it fixes everything. There's no real threat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's true.
That's true.
It's like, oh, we just gotta get. Oh, Goku died. We just gotta get the Dragon Balls.
Yeah. So the thing is, just talking about the multiverse stuff. So I do agree. I think that we've been in this multiversal like stage for too long, and all of the MCU, everything. It's just like, yo, this is kind of lasting for a while longer than it probably should,
without much impactful things.
Right? Yeah. Like they need to wrap it up. And if they're gonna like retcon and like start making things different or better, they need to do that. So I'm hoping Deadpool is going to do that, because if we have another multiversal anything after that, it's gonna be like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know? And in the comic books, there's been different multiversal events, but those multiversal events, they're not like, it shouldn't be like an easy come, easy go thing, right?
Yeah.
It happens because of a certain set of like scenarios and circumstances. It happens, it ends, and then they get back to regular business.
Yeah.
In the MCU stuff, it's a little bit longer, I think, than it should be.
It's too much in the air. You know, it's too much in the air. Even after, you know, the Doctor Strange movie, it was like, okay, this is cool. And then at the end, they give you an Easter egg of like, all right, well, this is what's really going to affect things later on. But it's like, what are we getting right now? You know, like I get build up. Just put this on Disney Plus and call it a day if you're going to keep doing that.
Right.
You know, but that's why I'm a little excited about, not even a little, I'm very excited about Wolverine and Deadpool, because
same.
I do want to see this chapter finally end with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Did they call the movie Wolverine?
Yep. And Deadpool.
No. It's Deadpool and Wolverine, isn't it? If they put Wolverine's name first, bro.
You need to put respect on Hugh Jackman's name, man. We already know what this is.
Deadpool 3 is called Wolverine.
Bruh.
And Deadpool. Bruh. That's wild.
This Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine for 20-something years.
It don't matter, bro.
Bruh, he's been Wolverine longer than LeBron James has been playing basketball. Dude.
They about to do the same thing Fox did. We about to get like 20 Wolverine movies.
Yep.
Wait, is it? Wait.
Nah, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool Wolverine? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Because
Deadpool Wolverine.
That would be so disrespectful.
Are we good?
Everyone's going to call it, oh, you see that Wolverine and Deadpool?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if everybody was like, yo, you see that Wolverine movie?
You see that Wolverine movie?
Yeah.
You saw that Wolverine movie? Yeah, who else was in that movie?
Man,
I don't know.
Wolverine was in there, though.
Yo, that would be the funniest thing ever if that is referred to colloquially as that new Wolverine movie. I hope that happens.
What was that dude in that red suit doing? He had guns.
The only reason I give him, I'll shoot him some bells, because supposedly he has the yellow and blue suit. He has like the
you know, that's a multiverse fatigue right there off rip. Nigga, like, oh, well, it's gone now. Oh, it's a different one. Now I got a brown suit.
Yeah,
which is the OG.
Which
is the OG.
That would be crazy. There's multiple Wolverines in this
movie.
know
there is, man. There is no doubt about that. Hugh Jackman is about to play dress up throughout this movie, man. You already know it.
They did that once with was it Days of Future Past? I actually thought that movie was pretty good.
That was the best one to me out of the Fox stuff, you know? Like
Logan was good too, though.
Logan was amazing.
Yeah.
Logan was the best one.
Yeah. That and then Days of Future Past.
But you know what? The fact that Deadpool and Wolverine exist, it kind of takes away some of the weight from Logan. It sort of takes away the whole ending.
But it's that multiverse stuff, though. You can just easily
like,
the multiverse. This was before
the Dragon Ball.
This is a whole different Hugh Jackman. I don't even call him Wolverine. This is a whole different Hugh Jackman. Just call him Hugh Jackman, man. Hugh Jackman with claws, dog. He is.
You know what would be
Wolverine
hard?
is Hugh Jackman.
You know what would be hard? You know what would be hard?
What's that?
And I think I don't know if Disney's smart enough to do this. They got the Xmen 97 coming out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What will be hard is they had Deadpool on like maybe the 4th episode, and via the TVA, he pulls that Wolverine out, and that's the Wolverine in the Deadpool.
It'd be smart.
That would be so dope.
That would be smart.
That would
hear
be
some bubs.
So dope.
We're gonna hear some bubs,
man.
A lot of that.
Yeah,
ready.
We got to get some more bubs going. Yeah, for sure.
What are you doing here, bub?
Because think about it, the Xmen 97 come out this year.
Yep. Next
and
March.
The Deadpool.
July.
Did Deadpool come out this year?
Come out in July.
Yo, you might have just made an amazing call, man.
Yeah.
If they're smart, they would have done that. Yeah, that would be amazing.
And it makes sense.
I mean,
that's
they're
true
trying
because
to top stuff together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I was going to say it makes sense because a lot of these pushbacks is because of adjustments to these other individual shows to have more of a relationship with one another. That's more symbiotic. So even with the Doctor Strange movie where they showed the Professor Xavier with the yellow, coming up with the limo, the yellow limo.
Yeah, right.
Big body rolling up. And, so I'm like, and, with the Beast, and they played the Xmen, 90s theme song in there, which was dope. But I think we are gearing up for a phase of Marvel that we've all have been imagining since we've heard about the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Back in like 2012.
Yeah.
So like I'm looking forward to these crossover films, and they're bringing back Daredevil, they're bringing the Punisher back.
And you can't forget, and I hope I'm not jumping the gun with this one, but you can't forget Fantastic Four is coming back.
Yo.
I'm super hyped.
Excited?
I'm hyped for it.
Why they get Pedro Pascal?
Bro, I don't like that. Like,
really?
I don't. You know how I felt about it. He is in everything.
Yeah, he's the king of nerd culture right now.
I like him as an actor. I love him, but I don't. I wanted John. The guy from that directed A Quiet Place, John, the dude from The Office. I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah, everybody wanted him.
Yeah.
And then why would they do that fake out? Why would they have him in the movie like, psych, we're gonna give you something a little worse?
That Marvel fatigue, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
why
not do it the other way around?
I just gotta say, is real quick. I know we're not doing whole movie reviews right now, but the Multiverse of Madness was such a disappointment for me, man. Like, and I say that because I loved the first Doctor Strange movie. That was one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah.
My expectation for Multiverse of Madness was so high, and I was just like, bruh.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. I don't know. Like, it wasn't.
Was it bad, or was your expectations too high?
I think my expectations was a bit too high.
Well, it's Sam Raimi. I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's Sam Raimi.
Yeah,
I like the theme. The theme of it was cool.
I liked a lot of what happened in the movie, but it felt weird. Like, it didn't flow very well to me. And then the ending of the movie, I'm just like.
And I'm gonna insert a quick side note that Sam Raimi, he directed the Spider-Man films, the original OGs 1 through 3. So take that however you want.
Yeah, and
the way you felt about that Doctor Strange is how I felt about Endgame.
Oh, really?
It wasn't bad.
Wow.
Endgame wasn't bad at all.
Okay. But you had higher expectations from it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The movie was good. It was just they did a lot of stuff that I was just like, well, why don't you do that? And then I already seen once they start going back in the past, they were able to go back and forth through time and stuff. I was like, oh, that fixes everything.
And Marty McFly, man.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna do something smarter than that. It's like time travel.
But see, honestly, Endgame to me, I did love Endgame, but there were some plot holes in that movie.
Yeah,
and one of the things that is, I won't say it's a plot hole, but I think it's an unanswered question. There were 2 snaps in that movie. Everyone talks about Tony Stark's, but no one's talking about Banner's. Like, Hulk did do a snap. And we don't know what that snap really did. We don't know what he was like willing.
No, he brought everybody back. Remember?
But was it just that, or was there more to just? I don't know. I feel like they kind of like made that snap a little bit like
too
less
open ended.
Yeah, it didn't. They didn't go deep enough with that. but then they made Tony's like, Tony Stark snap. His was like a big deal, but it's like, wait a minute. Do we know everything that Banner was like willing? I don't know. I just feel like there's some things about that movie that, although I loved it, there were some things about it that didn't make sense. Like, okay, another one, an obvious one that a lot of people overlook. Why did Captain America why did he have powers of like thunder? Like, he should not have had the ability to control thunder. He can lift Mjolnir and use it as a weapon, but he shouldn't have been able to control thunder.
He was out here doing combos.
And I was like, yo, I'm like, that's like Thor is the god of thunder. That's actually his ability. I was just like, what?
Like, no, I get it from the hammer.
But if you can lift Mjolnir, does that turn you into a Thor, or you just you could just pick it up?
So it depends on which continuity like you follow, because in some, I think, and I'm not a Thor buff, so somebody might.
We're not journalists.
Yeah, but I believe.
Yeah, I'm not a Thor person.
Yeah, I believe an earlier version of Thor, he actually did get all of his powers from lifting Mjolnir, his armor and everything. But I don't know that for a fact, so I don't know. But I just thought like even in the movies, Odin even said.
But that's what they did in the new Thor, right? The new one, because it's two Thors in that one, right?
Yep. Because and if I remember correctly, is it Jane Watson?
Yeah. Jane something.
Yeah, Jane, she did not have the power to control thunder. So I'm like, why did Captain America have that? He shouldn't have had that.
He got the juice, man. Just give it up, man. He got the juice. He's on the juice. He's tapped in, man.
He was tapped in.
He was tapped in. He got the juice. He got the super soldier serum, and
he was like, ain't nobody gonna notice this. Yeah, this is the end game. I'm about to do whatever I want.
Let me do this real quick. Let me bust this out.
So I could see why
that's the thing with Thor. His power is not real.
I see what you. Yeah, I mean, but it's not like it doesn't break the movie, because I'm gonna be honest. I was standing up in the theater when he did that. When he picked up Thor's hammer and then like started fighting Thanos. I was standing in the theater like, yeah, let's go.
Everybody was shocked.
No, don't worry. I was in the back of the theater. I wasn't blocking anybody. I promise.
But with I have been hearing an interesting theory. Like, pretty much the whole internet is in agreement that the Fantastic Four movie is taking place in the 60s. And one thing I'll say,
that would be good.
Wait, hold on. One thing I'll say is, I was having a conversation with my brother about this last year, and he said these exact words. He's like, it's going to take place in the 60s.
Wow.
And them being able to be space explorers or being lost and stuff like that. I remember you said this to me, like, exactly. Yeah. And where do you see that going? Because a lot of the conversations that we would have, it plays out sometimes. And whether it's some clues that hints to things that's later on that's going to happen. But what do you see? Do you see them like already having their powers? Or they like, what do you see? What do you see if it's taking place in the 60s? How do you see them getting to
I can tell you
current?
the smart thing, and I can tell you the smart thing they can do, and I can tell you what they probably gonna do.
Got to. Yeah, let's get both.
So I'll tell you what they probably gonna do is the movie takes place in the 60s. Another Fantastic Four origin movie, which I'm pretty sure don't nobody care about.
Nope. Not at all.
Hopefully that's not the whole movie, just the origin movie. Hopefully they get out like how they got their powers and everything early. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can see a situation where they had their little accident in space or whatever, or the whatever they was doing. They astronauts, right? I can't even remember.
Well, they're like scientists that they're basically what Elon Musk is to real life right now.
That's hard.
They have the ability to just go into space whenever they want, so they're scientists and they research things. And again, not a giant Fantastic Four buff here, so not gonna claim that I know everything about them, but I do know that they were like researchers, and they were like doing experiments and so on and so forth. But I don't know that origin story from the comics. But I agree with you. Like, I really hope they don't do another.
The movie
origin.
gonna take place in the 60s, and they're going to end up in like the MCU after that accident.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I.
Interesting.
That would be interesting.
So they'll have their powers in modern day time. And
yeah, but
adjusting.
I think in their universe it's still the 60s. Once they come to the main like MCU, it'd be in like this time.
So I have two like thoughts about that. Oh, actually, no. You said you had another. You said the thing that they should do. What is the thing that you think they should do? I'm curious.
Well, the thing that they should do is make. If I was making a movie, I would have did it differently. I would have made a Doctor Doom movie. From Doctor Doom's perspective.
That would have been amazing.
And then you can kind of see your first interaction with the Fantastic Four would be through Doom's perception.
That would have been hard.
That's a great idea.
So it kind of flips it, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of flips it. So then when you get to the Fantastic Four, their origin story is already done.
Yeah.
Kind of through the eyes of Dr. Doom.
I agree with that, man. Wholeheartedly, because like the one thing that I hope they do is like when you look at the new Spider-Man, like Tom Holland Spider-Man, one thing that they did really good with that character is they did not do the origin story again. Like the Uncle Ben thing didn't happen with him. We know that it happened in the past, but we didn't have to see it again on screen. Yeah. So I think I agree, man. Like they should totally, man, that's such a good idea. A Dr. Doom movie would be amazing, bro. That would be so
the bad
cool.
guys in that movie will be Fantastic Four, and that's how you get the Fantastic Four's origin story. So then when you drop the Fantastic Four movie, you don't have to do an origin story.
Yeah.
It could be like they already active, you know.
Dude, that would be so cool because they've never done a villain movie. Have they done that yet? I mean, Deadpool's kind of a bad guy.
Right yet.
Yeah.
Marvel, no. Marvel, no.
Yeah.
Because they've been touching a lot of angles that haven't necessarily been, you know, just anti-hero. You know, they've been just kind of tapping into that, but that's a little Sony.
From the perspective of a villain.
Yeah.
Not an anti-hero.
Straight up villain, yeah.
But you still see that, he kind of got a point, though.
That Doom movie is such a genius idea, man. A Doom movie would be amazing, man.
And in that, I was about to say Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine movie, there was a snapshot where people was believing that was Doom there with the gun, and I looked at it and I thought it was at first glance. Not. Yeah, he looked like he got his equipment out of Sesame Street.
Here's the thing about Doom, because I'm a huge Doom fan.
Mm-hmm.
If you see Doom with a gun, Doom is not out here shooting people.
Yeah.
If Doom
come up off your stuff. I got gats.
Doom is, he's not that type of dude.
Yeah. Not just some hoodlum running around with assault rifle.
And you know, and to add to that though, one of the things about Doom that I feel like they haven't quite captured on screen yet, and maybe my memory is not the best on this, but I don't think any version of Doom that we've seen on screen, he's utilizing magic. Because in the comic, he's supposed to be using magic too. Yeah. He's like science and magic.
Didn't he become the Sorcerer Supreme at one point?
Oh, did he?
I thought he did.
Wow.
I know
my
goodness. Brother has more information about Doom. I think that's like his favorite character.
Yeah.
But I know the one comic that I remember is when he escaped hell. That was crazy. I'm like, yo, what?
Wow. Is that Sorcerer Supreme?
I believe so. At one point.
That's interesting. But I mean, I knew that Doom's magical ability is nothing to shake a stick at. You know what I'm saying? Like he's legit, and he's science. Like, you know, he's a super genius. Like, and he's the ruler of his own nation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Doom made it.
Yeah, he did it.
Doom absolutely made it.
Because the best way you do Doom is to make him like super conservative, to where you can kind of like, you can see like he'd be like super conservative. So a bunch of people be looking at him like, yo, I like his ideas. He makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
Almost like a Trump or something like that.
Yeah.
That's an interesting comparison. Except Dr. Doom is way more successful, much more successful at what he was trying to do. Maybe
he did it.
Yeah, he did it. That's the thing. Doom did it. Like, Doom absolutely accomplished his goal. It's just
Yeah.
You know, he just wanted more. He was like, all right. I mean, again, from what I understand, like, I don't know every single thing. And the thing about comics, man, you can never actually read all of it. I don't know anyone that's just read all of it. You just can't. Like,
well, they always depower everybody in the movies.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They always depower them by at least
that's true.
half their real power.
And I don't know if you guys heard, but, you know, DC, James Gunn, you know, used to work for Marvel doing, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He did say that he was interested in a DC Marvel crossover movie, you know, so that's something that he is keeping in mind. And Kevin Feige also said, like, well, you know, that's something that we would be interested in, or, you know.
Okay, so I'm always like connecting the dots when I get new information like this, because I didn't know that. But that's interesting, because I just heard a pretty solid rumor that Marvel and DC might be reprinting the comic crossover soon. And this is the first time it's ever going to be reprinted since the original run.
Oh, wow.
So if that is true, maybe that's coming sooner than we think.
Could be after the Secret Wars.
Ooh.
You know?
Could be.
Maybe early 2030s.
The main thing is, I feel like the opportunity that they could have put that out, and we could have seen like the world's first like $1 trillion movie.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Right.
They should have did that like, say, about 7-8 years ago. Because now people tired of, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think people are tired, but I think people are tired of superhero movies that aren't necessarily films. Is literally, when you're watching a lot of these superhero movies, you could tell a lot of them are just cash grabs. It's not much of a
like Madam Web.
Yeah, nah. I almost was about to go see it just to see it, just to have an opinion on it, but I'm going to wait.
I'll go see it with you if you ever decide to, bro.
Yeah,
because like I was thinking about going to see it too, and I'm just like, but then I haven't done it yet because I'm like, I gotta catch up on some other stuff, you know, even though it's probably not connected. But I do want to watch Loki, and I do want to watch. I didn't watch
Loki.
Wars.
You do have to watch that.
So,
bro, I'm not wasting money on no web. That looked like a Tubi movie.
Oh man,
you gotta support the films, man. You gotta support the films.
Nah, bro.
Maybe not Sony's films like that, like Marvel Sony's.
You got
like
great
that.
value Spider-Man up there.
Listen, so here's my take on that one, man. Like Sony right now, after Venom, Let There Be Carnage, bro, I'm like, I don't know, man. Y'all live action, y'all kind of slipping.
They're trying to create a run for people around Spider-Man. We don't want that.
Yeah,
we don't want.
No, you know what they're doing. You know what they're doing. I'll tell you exactly what they're doing.
Go ahead.
So remember how Marvel or Disney and Sony was going through that beef with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Where Sony wanted to take them back, and Disney was like, "Well, we want to keep them," and you know that custody battle, for lack of a better word.
Pretty much. Tom Holland's in the middle. It's like, huh?
So the way Marvel works with the Disney rights is after every so many years, if there hasn't been a movie either specifically about the character or in that character's universe, Marvel takes back the movie rights.
Okay.
And since Disney and Sony pretty much told Sony, like, yeah, y'all still own him, but if you want X amount of money or X amount of movies or whatever, then you can't really do nothing with Tom Holland Spider-Man because we have him in specific stories that we don't want there to be a conflict.
Got you.
So that's why we getting all of these, you know, ancillary, miscellaneous.
But
Spider-Man's uncle got a movie coming out.
and I'm gonna say this though, because that's so true. The one thing that's interesting is because Sony and Kevin Feige is pretty much not necessarily arguing, but there was a debate on what the fourth Spider-Man movie was going to look like. And they were saying, Sony was like, no, we want to bring all them back. We want to bring Tobey Maguire back. We want to bring Andrew Garfield back. And Kevin Feige is like, we want to go back to the street level. And and they're like, no, dog. We trying to go even bigger. We want more money. We want more money. That's it. We want more money. Put Toby in that.
See,
put Andrew back in that.
So
throw Madam Web in the corner.
Yeah, you're right. And so here's my only problem with this whole situation. My main problem with this situation is, and you said this earlier, Spider-Man works best when he can cross over into other people's stuff. Like, Spider-Man has been a part of so many different storylines in the Marvel Universe. Like, he is an auxiliary member of the Fantastic Four, I believe.
Yeah.
He's literally probably fought everybody and teamed up.
Right. He's like teamed up with everyone, and literally, yes, he's fought like Wolverine. I remember that comic. It was great. Like, Spider-Man works best when he can work with the rest of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And if they keep trying to do Spider-Man stuff only, like, I think it's a phrase, they call it the Spider-Man like cinematic universe or shared universe or something.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you can only do so many multiversal, what was the thing in Miles Morales? It's just like
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, like y'all got to come out of this, and you do have to go back to street level.
Yeah.
Marvel know what they talking about. They're like, yo, the reason why people like Spider-Man is because he is a human enough character where people can connect with him. The storylines are really good. He has a whole bunch of villains.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do Spider-Man movies forever. His catalog, that backlog, that Spider-Man, like, it's crazy. He has so much. But
another big thing I want to add real quick is so now that Iron Man and Captain America is quote unquote dead or inactive
for right now.
Yeah. Spider-Man is what they were to the MCU now.
Yeah.
It's not Doctor Strange, and I love Doctor. It's not Doctor Strange. It's not the Hulk. It's not Thor. It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like what Batman is to the DC universe.
That's a good comparison. Yeah.
So that's why we get so many Spider-Man. Think about it. They put 3 Batmans in the Flash movie. Yeah. Every time that actor said he did something wrong, they're like, let's get another Batman in there.
Dang.
That'll fix it.
Oh, he beat up somebody. We can throw another Batman in the movie.
George Clooney.
Oh man.
That's true.
But like,
you know what I'm saying?
But we are kind of there with Spider-Man.
They think if more Batmans mean more people gonna show up for some reason.
I mean, but literally, man, Sony's doing the same thing. You got the Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse. You got Miles. Then you got all of the Spider Council, whatever they're called. Like, I'm like, yo, we have so many Spider-Man right now, and I'm like, this has to, like, y'all have to get the reins on this.
Yeah.
You got that multiversal stuff. You're not supposed to be in that space for too long, because if you're in that, because if you're in that space for too long, then nothing matters.
Yeah,
anything can happen.
That's what it feels like, especially right now.
Yep. So they got to wrap it up. Everybody got to wrap it up real quick because, I mean, again,
I'm not trying to see 30 Deadpool in one movie.
Yeah, that's probably gonna happen.
I'm excited for that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to these cameos of Deadpool all over the MCU.
Iron Mans fight each other.
Yeah, nah. Unless it's Tom Cruise, I don't want to see that. Unless it's Tom Cruise.
But if they announce a new Spider-Man actor, how are you gonna feel?
Oh man,
another new Spider-Man actor.
There will be.
I'll be happy
because of Miles.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna be somebody.
So it's like they have to get the reins on all of that. I really believe, like, very strongly, like, part of the reason why comic movies right now I think are in a lull is because everybody just kind of like, well, it don't matter, nothing matters, wake us up when it's like important again,
Yeah.
So they got to do that, man. They have to.
But I do want to slowly wrap this section up. I appreciate you hopping on the call with us today, and hopefully got some time in the future hit you back up, because this year is going to be packed with so much stuff. from
this is the year of the Xmen.
Yeah. And less cake. Less cake from Rogue.
Yeah, much less. Which, I don't know.
It's real. It's a sad day. It's real. It's a sad day. There was.
Is that discrimination against cake?
I guess they're trying to be inclusive.
But by being exclusive?
Exclusive to one, inclusive to another.
Let me just say this though. Let me just before you shut off.
Less cake though, if you didn't know.
Xmen 97.
Yeah.
But I guarantee what they're gonna do. It's not gonna feel like 97 because they're gonna be using today's social standards. And the cartoon is supposed to take place in 97.
Do you think they're going to do that?
Yes. You can already tell about what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's all I've done. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
No, that's true.
That's
man.
the big problem.
It doesn't represent. There's cake out here. People are buying cake out here.
Well, I mean,
that's just that's going to be the smallest part of it.
Yeah. I'm messing around.
That's not even the thing. That's not even going to be the thing.
It's going to be like the language and the conversations and the serious themes that they are like tackling. It's going to be very different. I see what you're saying.
They going to make, I guarantee they going to make Gambit like he not even like, a ladies' man. Like they going to make him like, yeah, you need to chill. Gambit, we got to chill on.
He went to PR. He went to sexual harassment class.
Yeah, he gonna be,
Yeah, because he was blowing down on Rogue all the time.
Heavy. Every episode, what you doing there, Jubilee? Like around him, like what does Sherry? Like, what you doing, Sherry? I used to talk. Yeah.
He gonna say something like, "Do you consent to me touching your shoulder?"
Yeah. Wait, give me another one.
Because I respect women, mon ami.
Which totally changes the character, like fundamentally. Fundamentally changes the character.
Gambit. That's not Gambit.
Wow.
Nah, he just did stuff. He was just smooth with it all the time. Yeah, you're right.
Gambit was that dude. That's how every little kid learned. They got a little bit of game from Gambit.
And they bag a little bit. Yeah, they got in their little bag. But man, hey, once again, I appreciate you for talking to us about this and sharing your ideas, because like I said before, there has been numerous conversations that we've had, and there was things that literally played out how you were saying, like when I was in the theaters watching certain things, and I'm like, wow, like we talked about this, or what we talked about was better than what I just saw. But we definitely gonna have you back on the show, man. I appreciate you for tapping in with us on What's Up Ohio, and I'll catch you next time though.
All right, stay up.
Hey, always.
Peace.
What was it, Friday? Valentine week. Went with my girl, and what did we do? We went to a candlelight orchestra thing that was fire. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
They were playing some stuff from some movies, which is dope. They was playing Titanic, of course, getting the tears going with all the the energy in the room. What else? They was playing a song from A Star Is Born, which is a dope movie from Bradley Cooper. Country song. Yeah. But violence with it was hard. Okay. After that, we went up to freaking love it up there.
Nice.
I might bleep out that name. I don't want people going up there when I'm up there. So
you like to keep that secret to yourself.
Yeah, I like to keep a couple things to myself. And then we went to go see on a late move because we were going to go to the club, but we went to see the Bob Marley movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to see that.
It was cool.
It was cool.
The music was good.
Okay.
I love the performances, from my music background. I love the performance aspect. Did a great representation on that. But there was no information on his childhood in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of us were, well, I'll say us, a lot of people that went into it like, oh, Bob Marley movie. It's like, oh, we're going to learn more about him. You did not.
Oh, wow.
You did not. You walk away knowing what you know about him a little bit, and they kind of glossed over a lot of stuff. And I get it, you know, protecting the legacy, you know, especially when your children is making the movie and stuff. But they hinted at some stuff in that movie saying certain things and this is not even necessarily a spoiler. But in all honesty, too, I did pass out a couple times. I was like, this is not what I expected.
Oh, no, dang.
This is not what I expected. Not saying it was bad, but it was a late showing. But it was all right, man. Like I said, the music was cool. Watching the performances of him on stage, and it really dropped in on him at the height almost, or like really not like just building. Nothing was building.
Interesting.
It was more so focused on his ideals and him standing up for things, you know, in Jamaica. But definitely not what I expected.
Not what you expected. Okay.
Not what I expected.
But do you recommend it though? Or?
I recommend it like for the music. Like if you want to watch a movie and it's like, oh, this is good vibes. This is Bob Marley. Like if you know, it was pretty dope.
Does it do a good job of explaining who Bob Marley was to people who don't know anything about him? Or at least like, you know, at least a part of his life and career. Again, just thinking about the younger generations or just people who really don't know a lot about him. If they see it, will they learn more about Bob Marley? Like, do you think it would be good for a person that doesn't know anything about him? Like that's I'm just trying to gauge, like, you know,
because you don't get much of insight about him. You don't get much insight about him as a person. What you do walk away with is a sense of his energy, which is beautiful. But for me personally, I want to know more about this person, because I know, you know, from childhood, those things, or your infidelities and things like that, not necessarily like try to trash somebody, but you need the context to be able to show the evolution of a person. That's how I feel.
I see.
You know, it'll make it more compelling to say, it's like, oh, okay, this person is very tuned in and sensitive to everything that's going on. You know, he's connected. He feels the pain of the people. You know, he's really concerned about the people. I'll say that you really walk away from that film knowing he really loved the people, you know, and he really gave his all. You know, if you know about the history of him, where he was shot and stuff, that's where it kind of starts out from there. Wow. So it's nothing before that.
Wow. Okay.
You get like flashbacks of like a certain thing, but
so it's not like is the right word biopic? It's not like a full biopic.
It's
right?
not.
Okay.
It's like a snapshot, and I love snapshots when you can just drop in on things, but just not much context.
Yeah.
Even when you find out like other stuff he's doing in his personal life, and you're like, oh, we don't see that. But you mention it like a line or two. It's one of them like Lifetime Element feels.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I still would like to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I would recommend it.
Yeah.
But you will not know about him as much.
So wait, I do like to read. Would it be more beneficial for me to just read about his life and read about him as a person? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Much more. You will learn more.
Okay.
Much more.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, maybe I'll check it out a little bit later then.
Yeah. It's not something you need to go. Well, you know what? I would say you could go to the theaters and see that, because the music live and the performance is pretty dope.
Okay.
It's pretty dope seeing that.
Yeah, if I have some time, I think I'm gonna go ahead and check it out. But basically, yeah, I'm gonna wait on it. Yeah,
simmer on it. Could be kind of like a date night type thing that, you know, to go to, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't go wrong with that movie. I'll say that, especially as a date night, you can't go.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a solid movie for a certain type of scenario, but it's not the deep dive that many people may be expecting.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
And I do want to wrap the episode up on because I'm a big Michael Jackson fan.
Man, I wasn't sure if I should mention that or not. Yeah. Man, I'm so looking forward.
2025.
2025 is when that's dropping?
2025 is coming. And his nephew, I don't know if you know, Jafar Jackson.
Yeah.
And on the way here, like a little bit before, I was actually listening to his single. He dropped a single back 3 years ago.
Okay.
I didn't know that he's half Colombian.
Oh.
He got that spice, man.
Wow.
He got that spice.
Okay.
Definitely look. He only has one single out. It's hard.
It's
pretty hard.
I'm going to play it on the way home.
Bruh.
Wow.
It's pretty dope.
But I read an article, they were saying like, I guess the people, again, I'm really paraphrasing here because I'm not like verbatim remembering this word for word, but I guess the people who were there during recording, they were just like really taken aback. Like they said his performance, they were just like, it really did something to them. Like he's really channeling like,
Jafar?
Yeah, he's really channeling like his uncle. And like they were just saying it was like almost like unreal. They were just like, man.
A lot of that is DNA, man. And that training. Cause like if you look at him singing or his mannerisms a bit, it's like, man, you can tell like that gene and that family is strong. It's strong. Like in a dope way.
Interesting.
Because it's like Michael, it's really like his legacy,
right?
Like not even intentionally doing it, but from you existing and being who you are and really pushing in the craft,
right? You're
constantly paying homage to what's there.
That's awesome,
and it's dope. So I'm excited to see.
I can't wait for that 2025. Okay.
Bruh, please, everybody go to the theaters to go see that. And I'm like, every episode I'm going to push going to the theaters because we need more people going to the movie theaters because one day it's going to be gone and then we're going to be looking for a movie theater and we won't be able to really have them and it won't be close. So go see them, support the films that you want to see first in the theaters, even if it's, might be, just go check it out. It's a good time to get out. Sometimes in a theater where you're really sitting in a room, you have the music, you have the bass, you have the screen, a good screen. You really get to be more consumed in the atmosphere of that film, and sometimes it comes across better. That's how I feel, and I've seen it.
I totally
watching the difference.
I totally agree. I mean, there are some movies that. I mean, it's really an experience in the theater versus just a movie that you're watching.
Yeah.
So I completely agree. Totally.
Yeah. But once again, I want to thank you for coming on, man. Oh, if you want to, you just had an event.
Yeah.
You just had an event, man. How are we going to, we can't leave without talking about that real quick, man. Just like, give me a recap. How was it?
Okay. Yeah. So, my company here in the city of Cleveland is called INFINITEQUE. It is a games and technology culture advocacy program. We are doing all types of stuff around the city of Cleveland right now, collaborating with lots of local businesses and things. And so we just had a fighting game tournament.
Okay.
On Friday. The first fighting game tournament in the city of Cleveland, to my knowledge, for Tekken 8, which just dropped recently.
Okay.
And, so we were putting together this idea for this event, and everybody came out, and we were so happy that people not only came out for it, but they were really enjoying it. And everyone, they just said so many nice things, and I really appreciate everybody and everything that they said. But everyone was like, yeah, this has to be regular. Like the community demanded it. They're just like, yeah, this is not a one-off. Like y'all are doing this now. So with that said, some of the things that we did for our community here in the city of Cleveland and the Cleveland metropolitan area is we decided to do this Tekken tournament with a little games culture twist on it. So what does that mean, right?
Yeah.
The venue, the Gatewood Home Share, we decided to design this around the Tekken tournament. We knew that people were going to come in and play this game. Everyone likes to compete, and there was a grand prize that, you know, one winner would win a cash prize. And then we said, well, what can we do to make this event better? What are we going to design around it? So we made like a lounge space where you can just sit down and play some old school games. You know, Xbox 360 is considered retro now.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And so, you know, people were playing Tekken Tag 2. They were playing Tekken 2. We had Tekken 5, Tekken 3. So we had all these old games surrounding the Tekken 8 tournament.
Hard.
And then we had a table off to the side, and there was a whole bunch of old video game magazines like Game Pro and stuff. We got all these old magazines with Tekken on the cover. So when you came in, you just saw like Tekken magazines from the 90s. You saw Tekken from over the generations. And then we had a ramen bar. And I was behind the ramen bar. I was back there making a bowl of ramen, you know,
chefing it up
as authentically as I could.
Yeah.
You know, big bowl, chopsticks, you know, soup spoon and everything. And right at the bar, everyone that sat there, we had a live stream going. So we were having conversations at the bar. The live stream was popping off the chat and everything. So it was a really cool event, and I think that everybody enjoyed it a lot. I, again, just want to throw my appreciation out there for everybody that did show up, and all the people that wanted to be there and couldn't be there. I appreciate them too. Their energy was felt, and we can't wait to do more. Like games culture, man. Like I was saying earlier, I don't know if you saw on social media, I was saying games culture is not just a new wave. It's, you know, it's the new game. You know what I'm saying?
Game Plus.
It's a new Game Plus.
Yeah.
You know, and we all been preparing for this for a long time. So we really trying to like launch this new initiative, this new brand, this new identity for people who play video games, not just the esports personalities, not just, you know, the people who are like the online warriors, but for everybody. People that like actually appreciate the music in video games. You know, you and I have had many conversations about the Third Strike soundtrack, you know, people who have appreciation for the art, the writing, people who have appreciation for like just the whole market, like how you get into it and how you market games, and you know what I'm saying, just everything. We want to appreciate everyone that contributes to games culture, and we want everybody to know that they're welcome to come to any INFINITEQUE or Gamer Haven event here in the city of Cleveland. So looking forward to it, bro.
Yo, you said that beautifully, man.
Thank you.
Said that beautifully. I'm looking forward because I'm definitely going to be coming out. I missed the last one. I know you got an upcoming one.
Oh yeah. February 26th at Sushi 86, downtown Cleveland. INFINITEQUE will be partnering with them. It's going to be it's called Culture Crossing, because we want to cross the cultures. You know, we want people to come out that's played like the old school NES games or Animal Crossing or Overcooked. We're just going to try to have a whole bunch of different games while you can go there, have some really nice sushi, and then we're going to have a live stream. We're going to have a special guest. I can announce his name now because he got approval from his company. Jared Huntley, who was a very famous game designer from the Cleveland area. He's currently working on some stuff, and we had to, get some clearance so he could actually join us, but we're going to be having a whole conversation about games culture in the city of Cleveland. It's going to be live streamed at Twitch TV /INFINITEQUE. Yeah. So really looking forward to that too, man. So it's going to be pretty dope.
Okay. And then where can everybody find you at, like on social? Where are you at most on social?
So I'm everywhere. I'm gonna just say I'm all over the place. If you go to Google right now and you type in INFINITEQUE, right? So that's the word.
How do you spell?
That's the word infinite with QUE on the end. So infinite, QUE is pronounced INFINITEQUE. If you just type that in on Google, you'll find me on Twitter. You'll find me on Instagram. I'm sorry, X, not Twitter. Yeah. You'll find me on Facebook. INFINITEQUE all over the place. And just so for those who are listening and may not have access to the internet right at the moment, that's INFINITEQUE. INFINITEQUE.com is the website, and you can find me all over the place. So stay tuned, though. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you heard it here first. Games Culture, Tristan. This was a pleasure, and hopefully in the future we can get something going with maybe another episode or just talking about some stuff.
Yeah.
Because, this podcast, this show, this is about film, games, and media. The news is stuff that's going on in Ohio. So I want to keep shedding light and go to the theaters. Peace.